Hello and welcome to the final episode of Berserker. Yes, this is it, the end of our journey, and we're just about to take this castle. Now, this is one of the very few castles that the Vlandians have remaining. Now, bear in mind that I have not eliminated the Azarai just yet, because as you may have noticed in the previous episode, they were consistently asking for peace over and over again due to war exhaustion, and I thought to myself, okay, well, why don't we just give it to them, and that will give me a little bit of chance to build up garrisons in that area. Also gives me a chance to potentially persuade vassals that otherwise wouldn't have been wanting to join us, and it also gave me a chance to eliminate the Northern Empire. I have eliminated the Northern Empire now. They don't have any fiefs remaining, and they immediately made peace with us as a result of them losing their last fief. So that is, well, basically a moot point now. We don't need to worry about the Northern Empire anymore. And then I decided, okay, let's take a look at the other factions that we have. Let's take a look at the Southern Empire, because the Southern Empire still has a fief in the case of Melian Castle. And I actually wanted to try and take that if at all possible. But unfortunately, it looks as though Melian Castle, and indeed the Southern Empire, is going to be a little bit out of reach for us at the moment, because my forces, and by that I mean my vassals, are not willing to declare war against that faction just yet. And I think that's probably because we still have the Vlandians and the Azarai and all that stuff waiting for us in the wings, and they want to eliminate those guys first before they make any moves to eliminate the Southern Empire. We still have the Khuzait. I believe there's still one fief that the Khuzait own, which is not that big a deal, to be honest. I think that generally one fief, and if it's a castle or something like that, then that's perfectly fine. And we are still at war against them, so technically if I want to, I might be able to rush over to their territory very, very fast and maybe take the castle in question if I need to, that is, because obviously there are a bunch of armies in that area, so I thought, well, maybe I don't even need to. Maybe I can just allow them to take care of the dirty work, shall we say. But yes, hopefully that is all going to work out. We do have a very, very strong army nearby. I think they had over 2,200 combat strength, if you can believe it. Yeah, pretty crazy. And yeah, they had a lot of units as well. And they were the people that defended against a Northern Empire army at Osterkon. Osterkon is that town that we never really spend too much time around, but it's a town that's really to the northwest of Vlandian territory, basically. It's in Vlandian territory, northwestern area. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the one, you know. It's that one that no one remembers because it's like so far out of, well, anywhere, you know. It's just by itself somewhere right next to Turby Castle, basically. It's right next to Turby Castle, and it's also next to another fief as well. But yeah, generally that army defeat that they had, that was basically the nail in the coffin, the last nail for them, and that is perfectly fine with me. That's really, really good, because that means that we don't have to worry about a particular army coming back and biting us. But even so, they made peace with us probably just because their army ended up losing, and if their army had won against us, then we probably would have had many, many more difficulties. But thankfully, we are going to achieve victory here. A number of them did manage to escape, which is just the way of things, I gotta say. Every single siege I've done so far, every time they managed to escape, at least in a small handful of units. And you know, I think that's just going to happen nowadays, because the morale of the opponent is so diminished as it is, because they are generally fighting a losing battle, a losing war, no less. And they now have to fight against the strongest army. Well, I mean, I'm going to say that we are the strongest army, just generally due to unit to strength ratio, because we have a pretty small army, but it's still one of the strongest in that regard. So the ratio between, you know, unit to strength is very, very high. So that's good, obviously. But anyway, we're just going to wait here for some time. We're just going to let these guys run back, and I'm going to show you the map, because I'm sure you are very eager to see that. This is what's currently going on. Okay. They took Callias Castle. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah, so I actually took Callias Castle from the Northern Empire, but apparently Vlandia decided that they would attack that, which is kind of frustrating to me. Turby Castle is obviously something that we could swing around and take as well. I have not done anything with that, and I wanted to save Praven and Galend for this episode, but I'm probably only going to show one of those because we still need to go down and eliminate Askar and Sanala from the Azarai. But as you can see, everywhere else is taken, with the exception of Akisa Castle and Melian Castle, as you can see right there. So those are the two smallish fiefs that we could potentially take. I'm surprised that this guy is not going over there. What is he doing? Ah, he's resting. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If he wants to rest, then that's up to him. And as you see, the Azarai only have 3 fiefs remaining, 2 towns and 1 castle. So, what should we do? Should we try and take Praven and then go and take Turby Castle and Callias Castle, or should we swing around and go to Galend first? I'm thinking Galend first, probably, because the best way to go about things, I have found at least, is to draw out your opponent in terms of time spent. That may seem kind of weird in general, because in war, I mean, especially in this case, time is of the essence, and I would definitely say that doing it this way is a bit of a smart move, because that basically means that the enemy is going to have to traverse the entirety or a very large portion of the map to get to where they want to go. And in doing so, they are wasting a huge amount of resources in terms of food supply, in terms of cohesion, if they are having problems with cohesion, that is, because some of them don't have problems, obviously, with that. But we're going to make a brief stopover at this town down here, and then we're going to swing around to Galend, because now what can happen? Okay, apparently Britannia has lost its civil war to the something league, the Kernacht League, and Caladog will now abdicate the throne, which is kind of weird. Drapand Castle is perfectly fine to be besieged because it is actually besieged by a very large army of about 436 units. And as you see, Callias Castle has now been taken once again, so we took that back, which is very nice to see. Now, as I was saying, basically you want your enemy to travel the furthest possible distance. It's kind of a similar aspect to a real life situation where if you know your enemy is, well, doing pretty badly and they don't have a huge amount of mobility, let's say they don't have any horses or anything, then it's going to take a long time for them to get anywhere. And if you force them to march due to certain defensive measures that they need or want to take, then it's going to make all the difference in the world in weakening them for your eventual attack against a particular location. That's my general thought process on it. It could be incorrect, but it seems to be working relatively well here, even if they decide to take back a bunch of fiefs in the meantime. So let's take Galend, and you can see here 485, actually a pretty significant amount of people. And oh yeah, I didn't sell my prisoners. Ah, I see. Okay, so the Southern Empire, when I looked at them before, we had a support of 5%, but as you can see, it has been growing over time, and I can only hope that we are going to be getting support to attack them soon enough. The Azarai also have a 100% support rating with us at the moment too, so I'm thinking we are going to be declaring war against them after we have taken Galend. As you can see, we're almost ready to go in here. I don't really want to fight in the nighttime, so let's just wait until daytime pops around and then we will go in. And there is an army nearby to us as well, but it is a very early forming army, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about them at the moment. And I'm pretty sure that we can probably take this, and then we can just kind of mosey on to Praven without too many issues. And even if the army comes out of nowhere and attempts to take this, then it's just going to bait them out once again. You know, baiting them out is basically one of the best things we can do, because that means that my army can potentially attack them. My armies, shall we say, my vassals, can attack them in a defensive measure, because usually the AI that governs defense seems a lot more, shall we say, well, vigilant, I guess you could call it. Yes, they seem a lot more vigilant in their reaction time. So whenever you have something under siege, usually the AI that is in control of that or in control of particular armies is going to be much more active in making those decisions and maneuvering there relatively fast in comparison to the one that decides to attack, because the attacking one seems to be kind of slow at times, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, but, you know, especially considering I have people on offense at the moment, you know, I have everyone on offense right now, so I want them to be as aggressive as possible, but generally they tend to still take quite a bit of time to react to certain things, so anyway, hopefully we'll do okay here, and you can see that we're doing no problem at all, because we have a bunch of militia. Yes, it is all the militia. Hello there. I'm going to try and impale them. Boom. Look at that guy. What? There was an invisible wall here. He didn't... That was hilarious. That was actually kind of sad, because I thought that would be funny if he went flying off the edge there. And for some reason, I cannot hit this guy. The crosshair is all weird again. Oh well, never mind. Ah, hello there. I would like you to go flying, sir. Would you mind? Yes, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a good angle on the guy, because he was in some weird position. Okay, I'm actually just going to speed things up real fast, because I would like our forces to murder. It seems like the murdering is going to take a little bit of extra time because of the problems with my frame rate at the moment. Well, never mind, okay. Let's go down here. If we do meet anyone, then I will slaughter them. Hello? Hello, sir. Goodbye. No surveys. Thank you. No surveys. And I will now do the speed up over here. That seems a little bit easier. There we go. That is much, much easier. Okay. So once we... Oh, hello there. Are you serious, sir? Get out of here. Get out of here. I attacked him in super speed mode. Can you imagine? Wow. I never would have thought I would be able to slay anyone with super speed mode enabled. It really is very, very difficult to do that, because the game checks your action so often when the zoom mode is on that it's very, very difficult to get any key presses in if you are indeed lagging a little bit, which I always do during this. Well, most of the time I do, at least. And what is actually going on here? We have one enemy. One enemy still remaining. That is hilarious. Okay, there you go. 9 deaths on our hands right there. Not too bad. And we can just tell the rest to run in. And we can just level up our people. We'll take some of the prisoners. And then only 8,000. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I think I'm actually just going to take all the loot. I don't really care about leveling those guys up. I'm going to show some mercy. Not going to claim this fief. And then we're going to go outside straight away. And I'm going to attack this army. I want to try and take out and indeed eliminate the army as fast as possible. I really don't want them to have any ability to form one, if at all possible. There we go. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day. There we are. All right, so that is good. And yes, a decent amount of well, not money, decent amount of experience here. So we'll take that. Galend has been taken. And we are also now deciding on the owner of this. I don't really fancy giving it to these people, but I'm going to do that nevertheless, because more than likely we're not going to have any issues with people betraying us or anything like that. And even if they do, it's highly unlikely that they'll be able to do anything before the end of the game at this moment in time. So we shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Okay, 27,000. I think I should be able to sell this. Yep, there we go. Nice, another 24,000 from that. And what else do we have here? Oh, Caladog of the Botanians declares war on us. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going to do a huge amount, isn't it? Okay, let's just pay that 5,000. And yeah, so there we go. As you could see, Tovia's army is now taking Turby Castle. We took Callias Castle back, which is really nice. And I am now going to be heading on to Praven. I will probably be taking this off screen, maybe. Actually, wait a minute. Hello. What's going on here? Are you serious? These guys are mercenaries. How dare you? Okay, let's take them out. Thank you. That is certainly not something we will stand for. We want those mercenaries gone as fast as possible. Thank you. And I will take all the loot. Don't really mind about 6,000 experience. Anything more than that, then I think it's maybe worth it. But generally, my forces will be able to level up quite nicely anyway. So it shouldn't make that much difference. Okay, so who do we have going on here? We have Fea and we have Abelitos. So we have a huge amount of armies in the area. And I actually would like them to take Praven if at all possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on Drapand. Because that has basically nothing in the garrison. And I don't really want to lose any additional units on top of the ones that I've already dedicated to this. And as you can see, they are just about to start this siege, aren't they? Thea, can you go in there? Are you serious? I have no idea why they don't decide to do that, but oh well, never mind. I guess they're taking their sweet time. They may be attacking a couple of armies or something like that. But yeah, I'm just going to let my forces go in here and we'll take this in a second. Ah, well, that's actually kind of interesting. Okay, so I just received word that the Vlandian rebels have decided to demand that Erderand, who is the current leader of the Vlandians, abdicate his throne. And you can see here that they have literally been the ones to take over Praven. So an insurrection took place inside the walls itself, and we now have a situation where we literally have to declare war against some rebels to be able to eliminate them. I'm actually not entirely sure whether I should even do that, to be honest, at this point, because I mean, that's the thing, I want to claim everything, right? We want to claim everything in the entire game, yeah? I mean, that's the whole point of world domination, isn't it? So I think we're going to have to declare war against them as well. Can we even do that? Because I've not actually declared war against a rebel faction ever before. And can I just tell you something? Yeah, it was under siege by a very strong army indeed. This guy, in fact. He had 1,200 units. He was besieging it, and then all of a sudden the Vlandian rebels took over, and obviously we're not at war against them. So he had to stop his siege, which is really strange. Okay, can I declare war against these guys? It doesn't look like it, right? Yeah. It doesn't look like it. Okay. What? How do we actually do that? I feel like that's an oversight. Maybe they've done something about that in later versions or something, where you can actually declare war against people that have rebelled against their faction and created a miniature one within it. But yeah, I have no idea. I guess the only thing I can do is maybe attack some of their villagers, and that might give me negative relation. Ah, hello there. There are a couple of people that are part of the rebel faction. Maybe this is the only way they saw to really have any way of survival, potentially. That might also be a reason. Okay, hello there, sir. I'm here to deliver blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm here to deliver you my demands, and apparently that has no effect whatsoever. If you want a chance to surrender or die, forgive me, sir. I don't know what I was thinking. Right. Okay. Well, goodbye then, I suppose. There doesn't seem to be anything I can do there. Oh, wouldn't that always be the case, eh? Wouldn't that always be the case? As soon as I am just about done eliminating the Vlandians, boom, they throw a spanner in the works, just like that. And I cannot believe it, actually. That is one of the worst things that could possibly happen, because now I cannot declare war against them. And yeah, I mean, I mean, that's the point. Could I attack their villagers? I don't know. Probably, but I'm just going to leave it for the moment, because we are now going to declare war against the Aserai, and we're going to see what happens in the meantime, because no doubt, maybe Vlandia still has an army or something along those lines, do they? It doesn't seem like it. They only have a total combat strength of 77. I have no idea what's actually going to happen as a result of this, but I suppose we'll find out soon. Anyway, let's declare war against the Aserai. They are the final faction, basically. They are the final faction still standing, and everyone else has nothing, with the exception of the Southern Empire, which I will now declare war against as well, because if we declare war against them too, then we have an opportunity to take their last remaining castle. And as you can see, we've just taken a huge amount of their vassals prisoner because they were waiting somewhere or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure how that happens sometimes, but yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. So hopefully we are going to be able to take the last remaining Aserai fiefs. I don't really mind too much about the Southern Empire because it is, as I say, just a castle, and I think generally it stands up much more if I were to say, oh yes, I took every single fief, but obviously it doesn't really stand up as it is right now, because we now have to worry about well, these things. Okay, it seems like I'm going to have to attack. Yes, I will have to attack here. I cannot do an auto-resolve. If I do an auto-resolve at this point, bad things are going to happen. Wow, this is an extremely blindingly white battlefield. Even though it's not really white, it's just bright, I guess. But yeah, this is great. This is great. Okay, well, whatever the case, if we are able to achieve victory here, this is then going to allow us to push on and pretty much achieve victory everywhere else, I would assume. This is probably one of the only armies that they have available. Maybe they have another one somewhere, because they do still have quite a few vassals. Oh yeah, I did attempt to persuade a couple of the other people, so I attempted to persuade... who was it now? Was it Ialus? Did we actually succeed in persuading him before? I don't think so, right? No, I don't think so. So... yeah, I attempted to persuade him, and I also attempted to persuade Saruk once again. I was extremely unsuccessful in persuading Saruk. He really does not like us one bit for some reason. But, yeah, apart from that, yeah, we just got one guy, and he was from Vlandia, and generally he wasn't even that good. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, let's just try and eliminate... oh, look at that! Whoa, there's someone going flying. I love that. Alright, looks as though we're going to need to charge in here now. I'm going to make sure that we don't end up being sitting ducks for the most part. I was just hoping that my forces would be able to use most of their thrown weapons in the meantime to soften up the enemy's cavalry forces. That was basically the only reason why I wanted them to sort of stick around there and hopefully make good use of them. And yeah, you saw there, we had some pretty cool thrown weapon kills, gotta say. Pretty cool thrown weapon kills. Unfortunately, the enemy is actually making my HP, well, dwindle at a pretty annoying pace, to be honest. It's one of those, you know, it's one of those times where you think to yourself, oh yes, I'm perfectly fine, I'm high in HP, and then you get hit 10,000 times for 1 damage, or very, very small amounts of damage, and then you think, what? Where did all my HP go? You know, it's kind of that sort of situation, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be too big a deal, because we lost 11. We lost 11. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, generally we obviously lost a lot more than that, but I only count the ones that generally died, because if they die, then obviously I can't use them any further. And it seems like I might have to do a speed up here. Let's see. Yep, it seems that is indeed a victory, because they routed. Okay, interesting. Wow, what? 211 of them decided to run away? Okay, that's very rare. I'm kind of surprised that they decided to do that. Anyway, we're just gonna... should I even bother letting them go anymore, to be honest? Should I even do that? I have a feeling that maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Because if I let them go, what does it get me, actually? It doesn't really get me anything, so maybe I should just take them prisoner and then just make the most of the make the most of the increased freedom, I guess, because then there aren't going to be that many enemy vassals all over the place, and they're not going to try and stop me all the time with many, many armies that they're going to form, and so on. So maybe that would be a better idea, but generally I wanted to try and, I don't know, maybe have an opportunity to persuade them or something. I don't know. I don't know, really. Okay, well, whatever the case, I still have the opportunity to... I still have the opportunity to attack these guys. I was actually kind of perplexed by the fact that I'm seeing a lot of high-value combat strength vassals in this area. That means that these guys right here are going to be part of a very, very large army soon enough. So if I can eliminate them all before they join that army, then I will effectively limit the amount of combat strength they can gain. At least that's the hope. So let me actually just see if I can continue to eliminate a number of vassals here, because no doubt they will join the army if they are given the chance. So let me see if I can just hunt these guys down. Ah, you escaped, you absolute scoundrel. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so Ukbar Castle, they have 382 in there. That's actually a pretty significant amount, but I think we should be able to take it without too many difficulties, as long as Unkid doesn't appear out of nowhere with a relatively strong army and try to chase me off once again, like he did last time. Alright, so we actually have a pretty fun situation on our hands here. I went over to Askar and I found it under siege by one of our armies, and I decided, hey, you know what, let's go and help them. Even though they have over 1,200 units in their army, I thought, oh, this seems like a pretty good use of my time, because obviously if I help them out in an actual manual siege, it is going to reduce the amount of casualties that they take, and as a result, then they're going to be able to move on and potentially, you know, take on other tasks that are going to be just as difficult, or if not more difficult, for us to accomplish by ourselves. So I thought, okay, this seems like a good idea. Anyway, that's exactly the reason why we're here, and hopefully I'm going to be able to murder some of these guys. Yes, there we go. There's another one. Oh, I love that. Oh, yes, I love that. Okay, wait a minute. Is this guy going to escape? Yes, he is. Not this guy, though. Goodbye. Alright. And now I'm actually wondering whether I should literally just tell people to zoom, because if we go zoom, then it is going to... Ah, there's a bunch of people coming this way. But yeah, if we tell them to zoom, it's going to... I mean, here's the thing. It's not very good, because... the siege towers are not working correctly. I'm not entirely sure why, but I stood there for about, well, I don't know, a couple of minutes trying to get up the ladder on the siege tower, and all I can say is that it was not working. I was walking straight into it, and my character was not interacting with the siege tower itself. It's a bit weird. It was a bit weird, and maybe actually I could show you. Maybe I could show you. I'm going to actually go outside again, and I'm just going to slay these various units as they walk by me here. And I'm actually going to see... I mean, I don't really care if they... To be honest, I don't really care if they run away at this point. Is this the exit? This doesn't look like the exit to me. No, this is just a door. It says door, so I'm actually wondering whether you can interact with that in the future. Maybe there's an alternate route inside or something like that. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be the main door. Ah, here we go. This is much better. This is looking much better. Okay, so bear in mind, we are in the minority here in regards to how many people... wait a minute. Oh, okay, this is not actually it. Okay, in regards to how many people are inside the walls, there are basically no one, or none of my forces, shall we say, inside the walls. And this is not good. This is not good at all. So it's basically just me, and I can't find the front door for some reason. It's like a maze. Okay, here we go. This might actually be kind of good, because then I can show you the siege tower from the other direction, but even so, I'm not entirely sure if it's even going to allow me to get down there. Maybe it's already been destroyed. Oh, no, it hasn't. As you can see, this thing hasn't even gotten lowered, because the enemy, or shall we say our allies, have not even been able to get to the top of it, which is really strange. So I really have no idea what's going on there. It's some very, very strange interactions. Okay, I have to be super careful here. I really do not want to die.
Save yourself!
Ah, it seems like a lot of my people are now starting to flood into the battlements. That's pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to jump off here because I want to show you very specifically what the problem is, just in case a developer might watch this at some point. I don't really know whether they do, but look at what is happening here. Yeah. This is the main reason why my forces are not actually able to get into the walls for some reason. And you can see here that even if I get onto the siege tower, it doesn't even allow me to get through my own units. But look, let me actually just show you right here. I'm going to tell my forces just to charge in so that they stop trying to get up the ladder here, because they're going to go through the front door then instead. But look at this. See this? See this? I'm not able to climb the ladder. I'm not able to climb the ladder for some unknown reason. I can't climb any of them, in actual fact, and I think that needs to be looked at, because let's face it, you can't have a siege tower be completely unusable. It's a bit. I mean, you just can't. You know, that's just not the right way to go about it. So, unfortunately, that seems to be a bit of a bug, and hopefully that will be fixed at some point in the future. But there you go. We were able to take Askar, which is really nice. No vassals, unfortunately, to be able to take in. You know, no prisoners to be gained here, apart from regular ones, and we're just going to sell them. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So let's go into the trade screen real quick. 94,000. Ooh, I don't mind if I do. Oh, I have way too much. Right. Yes, I have 31,000 too much. That is hilarious in itself. Okay, well, let's just sell a whole bunch while I have the opportunity to do so. And, well, we have a lot of money anyway, so it's not really necessary. So I'm just going to go for the 70,000 at least, and then we'll move on. Okay, so we saved our friends a huge amount of casualties right there. So that's really, really good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over to Sanala. As you can see, we've taken Okbar Castle as well. And there's basically only that to be taken. Sanala is the only thing to be taken now. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what we can do here. But bear in mind, we still obviously have the problem with the rebels. But I don't know whether... I mean, we can probably just count it, right? We can just count it that I've taken that? I don't know. I mean, generally, I kind of wanted to see us have everything. But again, nothing's happened there. They haven't actually taken that back or anything like that. Can I make peace with these guys? Well, I mean, obviously I can't because I have 0% support. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, actually. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything with them, unfortunately, because they don't get created into a new faction or anything like that. They are just a minor faction or a clan, shall we say, in the greater whole of Vlandia itself. So it's very, very difficult to interact with that clan individually. And even if you try, as you have no doubt seen... Wait a minute. I might be able to persuade Hashan to join me. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. Anyway, yeah, even if I... yeah, so that's the point. I'm not even able to speak to these guys and tell them that I want to declare war on them. and that's it. You know, there's nothing else to say about it, unfortunately. So yeah, it seems like that's a bit of a problem. Anyway, 42,000. Hashan has now joined us. That's great. And let's see what else is going on here. Is this guy actually a leader? Oh no, I don't want to fight these guys by myself if at all possible. Can I? Yes, I can. Thank you. Yes, I would very much like to attack Ankid's army. I'd like to get him out the way. Thank you very much. I'm going to be taking people prisoner now. I've actually decided that it would probably be a good idea to take these guys prisoner, at least just for this small little skirmish in Azerai territory. And we are going to take Sanala right now. We're going to take Sanala. There are... Oh, they're actually sallying out. Of course they would. Of course they would. Yes, they have literally over 900 units in here. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, to be honest, that they decided to do this. But this is a pretty good finale, right? Pretty good finale for our series here, for our Berserker series. And we're going to go into a nice loose formation. Let's go for a nice zoom zoom. Zoom. Ah, okay, that's a bit too far. Thank you. Okay, let's just zoom back a little bit. Bear in mind that I'm not the only one moving fast, so I need to be a bit careful when I do that kind of stuff, because if I am careless, I could very easily end up killing myself just by running into many, many, many arrows. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't really done that much damage so far. I mean, you can see here we've only killed 70 of the enemy's units. I would have expected us to kill many more than that, but apparently we are having some issues penetrating their shields. They seem to be adopting a very efficient defensive formation. And you can quite easily see that in the amount of javelins that are currently embedded in their shields right now. So they've done a good job. I've got to say, I've got to give them props for that. Well, unfortunately, it seems as though the enemy is now starting to run away at a pretty significant pace, and I'm kind of surprised, although maybe I shouldn't really be, because we have eliminated so many of them and they haven't really eliminated any of ours, and generally, obviously, that's how morale works. That's how the morale damage works. If you're unable to eliminate any of the enemy, then you're not going to be getting any morale or any positive morale for your own forces, and as a result, you're just going to be losing morale over and over again until inevitably your forces decide, oh, you know what, I'm probably going to run away from this. So, yeah, but unfortunately they seem to only be running back to their reinforcement lines, which is a very smart thing to do once again. They seem to be very smart, these particular people. They seem to be doing a very good job of utilizing tactics and strategy. How are my forces doing it anyway? Have I told them to charge, by the way? I think I've told them to charge, right? Alright, what we're going to do is we're just going to reconsolidate a little bit here. We're just going to reform our army in its wonderful loose formation. Obviously, I don't really have a huge amount of thrown weapons remaining, if any. And we do have a couple, as you can see right there. But yeah, we're just going to sort of form ourselves up just behind this small dune here. Oh, no, it seems like they are actually running away. Oh, okay. I'm kind of... I don't know, I felt like they didn't have to do that. I felt like they probably could have achieved something more there just by sticking around. I think they would have probably been able to deal quite a bit more damage to us if they had just stayed behind the hill there and I guess just seen what happened. But yeah, now they only have 241. We've taken Melion Castle finally, and Saratis, can you please help me, sir? You know what? I'm going to have to leave, unfortunately. I'm going to have to leave because I don't think I'm going to be able to fight this army of 500 in the way that I am at the moment. I do have quite a few injured units, and the Southern Empire is now proposing peace, which is absolutely fine because we've just taken Melion Castle, which is perfect, and that means that I can give this to Hashan because obviously he has nothing at the moment, and it would probably help him out quite a bit. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now let's just take a quick look and see what's actually going on here. Okay, so obviously Praven is going to be impossible for us to take at the moment, but everything over here has been taken, as you can see right here. Melion Castle has been taken now as well, and Erzina and Akisa Castle and all that stuff, that has all been taken. And every other castle in the entirety of the world has also been taken, with the exception of, well, just Sanala and Praven at the moment. That is literally the only thing. So the only thing I can really do is I can do this. Let me see. Who owns this? Aldrich. Okay, let's send a messenger to him. There is no way he is going to allow me to do anything here. He is not going to be happy to speak to me, to be honest. I don't think. Right? He's not going to be happy to speak to me. It's highly unlikely, at least. Okay, let me try and besiege this real fast. No. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, well, at least my messenger has arrived now. Let's see. Hello there. Hello, sir. What do you think of your... Of course you're in an army, you absolute idiot. Okay, I'm going to give him money. I'm going to give him a lot of money. Let's give him 100,000. There we go. Yes. Hello. I would like to give you 100,000 gold. Ah, yes. That it sounds like a scam, you know. It sounds like. That is very funny. Oh well. Never mind. Okay. Imagine literally a scam artist literally phones you up or emails you or something and says, "Oh yes, I have 100,000 in your whatever currency, dollars or pounds, euros, whatever," and you literally then think to yourself, "Oh, what a nice man." And then he literally deposits it in your bank account, and then you gain relation with him, and you're just like, what? Can you imagine? That would be very funny. Okay, well, whatever the case, let's do this. We just had to allow Saratis to complete the siege for us, and now we will be able to go in there without too many difficulties and take it. I'm just going to literally go zoom mode right here. There is no real need for me to do this. Is there any need for me to do this manually? Let me actually just take a quick look, because I'm a bit skeptical about the siege tower, because the siege tower wasn't working before. Now it's working. See, this is how it's supposed to work, but it wasn't working like that beforehand. Seems like the gate is now opened. Oh, no, they're actually just using the... What? Okay, what is going on with the AI today? Because you see this? They literally put the siege tower all the way over there, and then they thought to themselves, hey, you know what, guys, let's not use this. Let's not use the siege tower, let's just use the ladders that we were going to put up anyway, even if we hadn't built the siege towers. Well, as I say, we are a few versions behind, so I'm very much hoping that the siege AI will be a little bit better going forward in the more updated versions. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, hello there. I can go straight on into the to the front door, and now I can maybe slay a couple of people. Oh, wait a minute. Last thrown weapon kill of the series. There we go. We didn't even see it, unfortunately, but there you go. That was a pretty nice one, though. That was a pretty slick one, if I do say so myself. And is that a guy that's stuck in the... Hello, sir. Oh, that was one of my own. Okay, that's the... Okay, those are the final 2 thrown weapon kills of the series. I guess that is actually kind of fitting, to be honest, because I am someone that definitely hits my own units quite often. Not on purpose, obviously. Not on purpose, but still, that is hilarious. Okay, so there you go. We have now taken the last of the Azurai Fiefs, thanks to Saratis and his aggression, which we very much appreciate. And now we're just going to wait here for some time, and hopefully, yep, they are going to now be, you know, leaving the war, and that is it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything about Praven, unfortunately, because as you see, the other guy is in an army at the moment for some reason. I don't know why he would be in an army, but what we're going to do is we are literally just going to be waiting for some time. That's it. We're just going to be waiting for some time, and we're going to see what happens, because I would like to give it maybe a few minutes, and then we'll see if the Praven gets taken or anything like that. If it doesn't get taken, then I'm just going to call it, and that's just how we're going to have to, you know, we're going to have to roll with it. I mean, I think that's kind of understandable. If we can't declare war against them through some gameplay weirdness or whatever, then there's nothing much I can do about that, unfortunately. But yeah, otherwise, the entirety of the map has now been taken and is now under our control, as you can see right here. So just ignore this one, just ignore that over there. That's not actually there. My mouse cursor is not big enough to cover the entirety of that name, but yes, just ignore that. Everything else has been taken, though. And this is, I guess we could just show our final stats, eh? My final stats are 43,835 combat strength. I would be able to get much more if I allowed my garrisons to fully flesh out, because obviously I've just taken Sanala and Askar and the castles nearby and all that stuff. But you can see here, these guys have no armies. Vlandia has no army at the moment whatsoever. And as a result of that, it is actually making it so that they don't, they have no ability to fight back against the rebels. And that's the reason why they are unable to take it back, because they are unable to. There's just no way that they can do that. So I'm actually thinking, can we make peace with these guys? No, no, no. Okay, none of these want to make peace with us. Okay, so I guess the only thing I can do, as I said before, I'm going to wait for about 5 minutes, and we'll see what happens after that. But if nothing happens, then I will call it. And I'm just going to say, if you want to leave right now, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Heartfelt thank you to all of you. And I hope you'll join me for the next one. And for those of you that want to stick around, I'll be with you in a moment. Well, I think it's been about maybe like 4 minutes or something like that, but it's been quite a significant amount of time in-game. As you can see right here, it's been about, what, 8 days, maybe 9 days or something like that. And the Northern Empire has declared war against us. Obviously, they are probably not able to do anything. I mean, all things considered, it is highly unlikely that they'd be able to do anything. We're also going to make peace with the Vlandians right now, because it doesn't really seem to give much to us for us to stay at war against them. And I'm actually thinking, if we were to declare war against them soon-ish, does that mean that we're going to then be at war against that particular faction? No, it doesn't, because as you can see, they have 0 towns. Even though it actually shows, I mean, they're at war against these guys, right? They're at war against these guys, which is... I don't even know. I don't even know what to do, really. But I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to send a messenger to this guy, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, you can see here, everything is absolutely fine. No one has decided to attempt to take anything. We have seen a couple of raids against us, but that doesn't really phase us at all. Okay, what's going on here? I have a proposal. Okay, I'm going to give you, let's give you 10,000, I guess. I don't really know. Is there anything else that... Wait a minute. The Hand of Athene. I was looking for a suitable match. That might work out. Okay, fantastic. I would like you to give me money. Give me all your money. Give me 6,000. There we go. Okay, so Athene married Ospia. Okay, so there we go. So she's married she's married Ospia. Okay. What does that do? That does nothing. That does nothing. Okay. Well. What about an alliance? Can we get an alliance with these guys? I mean, it doesn't even show them as being like an actual faction. That's the main problem here. It doesn't show them as being a faction, and as a result, I can't do anything with them. There's nothing I can do there. Aldrich is the owner of Praven, so I'm gonna once again just try to speak to him. Even though, again, we're not at war against him, and even if I were to attempt to speak to him and say, hey, do you want to fight? He's going to say no. So that's probably what's going to happen there. We also have a rebellion going on in the Northern Empire as well, which is kind of weird, and this guy is still in an army, as you can see right there. So there doesn't seem to be anything else that I can do right now, so I guess I'm just going to call it there. I thank you very, very much for sticking with me until the very end. And I definitely hope to see you in the next one. I'm going to try and come up with something that is pretty exciting, hopefully, and kind of interesting to watch, and hopefully just all around fun. So, I thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.